Thank you for coming to see everyone today. Even though we'll only be sister-in-laws, I want you to treat me as if we've always been siblings. I'm sure you know, but my brother can be a bit absent-minded sometimes, so... I feel so relieved that you're going to be my sister. Do you not remember me? Huh? What do you mean? Of course I do. You're my brother's fiancée, Emily. What kind of question is that? Yes, and also the same Emily that you went to high school with. Oh yeah, I remember. The Emily who always wore glasses, right? Yes, with the glasses. My defining trait you always referred to me by, and never my name. Considering you never remembered my name back in high school. Oh, I don't really remember that. Though you aren't wearing glasses anymore. And your last name has changed since then, so I guess I didn't realize it was you at first. I just decided to wear contact lenses today. I still usually wear glasses, like when we were in school. I changed my last name in the summer of our junior year in high school. My parents divorced then, so I have my last name changed to my mother's maiden name along with her. But I guess you don't remember that either. Nope, I sure don't. We were in different classes our junior year, so I don't know why I would even remember that, to be honest. Besides, I wasn't really keeping up with anyone's familial issues or anything. And especially not yours, for that matter. But I can't believe that you're engaged to my brother. You of all people. I think I might have to take back what I said earlier about treating me like a sister. I'm just as pleasantly surprised as you are. When I've been over at your parents' home before, I've never ran into you there. Well, I'm already married. My husband and I live in the next town over. I'm not usually at my parents' house. When we were at the venue, I almost wasn't sure if it was you or not. You were acting like a totally different person. I don't think I've ever seen you so polite and happy. Do you always act so innocent and oblivious in front of your parents? Do you think maybe you've got a bit sassier since we've been in school? You are marrying into my family, aren't you? I think that puts you on the lowest rung of the ladder, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you should show some respect to your new family members. I lost all respect for you a long time ago. But aren't you already married? It's not like anything needs to change. What does me being married have to do with it? I'll make sure that from here on, that you thoroughly remember how things were in high school, and all of the lessons I taught you. It'll be just like the good old days. My family will be the perfect match for you. Taught? Is that what you would call how you treated me? I don't know how you can call that teaching. Of course I was teaching you. I wanted to help you prepare for getting a job in the working world. Taking my gym clothes out of the locker room and putting them outside in the rain. Soaking them in the mud and puddles outside. Hiding scissors from the classroom in my backpack. Giving the pencils and books that I lent you to other people and telling me that you lost them. These were all important lessons for me to start working a 9 to 5. Oh, but I didn't do any of that. That was all of my friends. Yes, you always thought you were so clever to not leave behind any evidence. It didn't matter how many deviations of people you went through in order to pick on me or bully me. It wasn't hard to tell who was behind it all when you were always grinning and laughing at me. And you just kept on sucking up to the teachers to make them think that you were a perfect student. I was able to get into a great university thanks to that. I met my husband there too, and we've been happily married ever since. I bet you didn't know that he is working for one of the most famous companies in the country. As for myself, I've been working full-time as a housewife. I've never been happier. You don't have to say it. I already know you're jealous. I deserve it after all. It's the life I've always dreamed of. I can honestly say the thought of being jealous of you hasn't ever crossed my mind. You don't have to pretend and act all tough. I know you are. Who wouldn't be a little envious of me? You wouldn't be the first person anyway. You can be jealous. I don't mind. But being just a housewife all the time can get a little boring. After all, my husband was able to afford us the newest appliances, so there isn't a whole lot to do when I do things around the house. Though I was the one who kept pestering him for the easier-to-use appliances. Rosie, you already got married and have your own family. So, don't go bothering anyone and sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Don't you have other things to spend your time doing? Thanks, but no thanks. Now that I know you will be around, my life will be much more exciting. Like I said, it'll be just like when we were in school. I don't want you to forget how much of a great time we had together in school. And I'll make sure you never forget the most important lesson I taught you. Never to go against me. My brother and everyone in my family have only ever thought of me as a wonderful member of the family and an honors student. I hope you aren't thinking to try anything too drastic, since it could end up in this engagement falling apart. Just be careful what you do, and prepare yourself for the worst.
Will you cut it out already? I don't need any more trouble to deal with. I just want to go about my own business and marry my fiancé. I've not been causing you any problems, and you didn't even realize you knew me till today. We're both adults now. Can we stop with the childish antics? This isn't high school anymore. Okay? Are we on the same page? I'm serious. Please don't do anything.
Hey, Emily. I was hoping we could talk about something. Do you have a moment, or are you busy?
Did something happen? Is everything okay? Aren't you at work too? Is it okay for you to talk now?
Don't worry about that. I'm on break for lunch right now. Do you happen to have the list we made of everyone that said they'll be attending the wedding? The one we had started putting together for figuring out where everyone would be seated.
Oh, I don't have it with me. It's back at the house. We're talking about the one that we started taking notes on, right? With everyone's allergies and foods that they can't eat?
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. The other day, I showed it to my sister. She wanted to see who else would be coming to the wedding.
She asked to see the guest list out of nowhere? Did she say anything else? Why did she want to see who else was going?
Well, she happened to be running errands that brought her nearby the office. She asked if I wanted to grab lunch on my break, if I had time. So we're out right now. We're still eating at the moment, actually. While we've been eating, the topic of the wedding came up, and she was wondering if she could see the guest list. I took a picture of the names just the other day on my phone, so I showed her everyone that plans to be there at the wedding.
Okay, but why does she want to see the list? Did she not give a reason? What's the problem?
In the list of people that'll be coming. Was your ex-boyfriend really invited? And did you really not tell me? Why would you want to invite him to begin with?
My ex-boyfriend?
Yes. Rosie told me his name. She said she recognized it. What were you thinking inviting your ex to the wedding? That's what my sister keeps asking. But what is this? Can you tell me what's going on? Are you and your ex still friends? Have you guys been keeping in touch? And honestly, lately you seem like you've been more and more busy. I feel like you've been holding on to your phone more than usual, too. Emily, please just be honest with me. Have you been seeing your ex?
Hang on just a second. Is this just what your sister is saying? Don't just take what she says and accept it without question. I've been busier with work so that we can save up more money for our honeymoon. I wanted us to be able to have enough, so I've been taking on more to help us out. And you know that I always have my phone on me because I use it for my job. Your sister is putting these doubts in your head. I swear, I have not been seeing anyone. I don't even have time to go seeing someone behind your back. You know my schedule.
Well then, why is your ex still on our guest list then? What's the deal with that?
It's Sam, right? The name that she pointed out on the list? I mean, yeah, we did date when I was in my freshman year of high school, but we both agreed we should be prioritizing school over a relationship, so we broke up. It was such a long time ago. Besides that, he's also already married and has children.
You're cheating on me with a married man that has children?
Will you stop it with these delusions? You're just overthinking this whole thing because of your sister. You need to take a deep breath and relax. Take a step back and look at this from another perspective. I am not cheating, Thomas. We've kept in touch more recently because of work. It's nothing more than that. I have him to thank for having the opportunity to take on more responsibilities at work so that I could help us save money. It's not like him and I are best friends or something. We're more like co-workers, if anything. And on our list, we had him seated with our other acquaintances from work, not with all of our family members and close friends. You're thinking about this too much.
You might be right. Maybe I'm just stressing out about everything. But on the other hand, practically every friend that you have invited is a woman. I can't help but think that maybe it was intentional that you had him seated in another section.
Okay, I get it. I understand you're stressed and worrying more than usual. I can show you all the conversations we've had over text. It seems like we aren't going to get anywhere just texting right now. Let's talk after you finish work, okay? When you get home tonight, I'll show you everything and hopefully it'll clear up any doubts you have. I know that Rosie is your sister, and I know you're both very close, but please don't just take everything she says at face value. And don't overthink everything. Try not to stress so much, too. Okay?
All right. We can talk about it more later. I'll try to finish up work early today so I can get home a little bit quicker this evening.
Thank you. Please take it easy at work.
I almost had him convinced that you were cheating and you had to go and ruin it.
Rosie, what are you thinking? Sam and I only dated for 1 week. Remember? And you're trying to spin this into some ridiculous story that it isn't. Stop feeding your brother this nonsense. Are you trying to make me hate you more? And why did you put a fake love letter from me on his desk? Are you trying to ruin my engagement? You need to stop this now.
You were the one who invited him in the first place. Didn't you want him to be there?
The problem wasn't having him invited.
My brother will believe anything I tell him, Emily. If everything goes according to plan, I'll make sure that your marriage never happens. I'll make sure you get pegged for alienation of affection from your cheating. Then I can celebrate with my brother and treat ourselves.
You're trying to tear a family apart, and you're really going to regret it.
You aren't a family. You aren't even married yet.
I still have kept everything you have ever done to me from your family. You know that? I haven't mentioned any of it to them. Not your mom, your dad, or Thomas. I may not like you, Rosie, but at least I am not trying to destroy your family. Can't you afford me the same respect? Do you really hate me that much?
Yes, and I'm aiming for them to not believe any of what you tell them. That's the goal.
I'm begging you, please stop. This doesn't need to go any further. I don't want you to do any more damage than you already have.
I can't stop. I have so many more things I have planned. How can I stop now when I haven't even gotten started? I have so much free time. I have to fill it up with something.
How about a hobby then? My life isn't yours to toy with for your entertainment.
I'm just killing time, really. If anything, you should be thanking me for making your life more interesting.
I should be thanking you? I've been working non-stop at my job, preparing for this wedding, and trying to get ready for my honeymoon. I don't want to be any part of your horrible games. I don't have time for this. Leave me and my marriage out of your childish games.
I wonder what I should go with next on my lovely list of schemes. I have come up with so much, it's hard to decide what would be best. I suppose I should make sure I cover my tracks so nothing makes me look suspicious. I'm going to slowly make sure everything comes together to make you look as guilty as possible.
Rosie, I don't know what I need to do, but please stop this now.
Good luck to clear up any of that cheating mess that you got yourself into. I think you're going to need it. He's probably been dwelling on it all day, and he can be very stubborn. You have your work cut out for you.
He's only thinking all of these lies because of you.
Of course he is. I want this relationship to go down in flames. I hope I'll be the first person you tell about the engagement being broken off. I'm waiting for your text. I'll be going home now, and I have to get back to my busy duties as a housewife. Keeping myself busy can be so stressful sometimes, you know? I'm so glad I have you to help me relieve all of this stress from my busy schedule.
What would you know about being busy?
I try to keep my schedule full if I can, but I can't just ruin your life 24/7. I need to go shopping for wedding gifts for my sister-in-law. She's finally found someone to get married to, at 37. She's a little bit slower than most, but better late than never, I suppose. I don't see why we need to go spending money to celebrate, but surely my presence at the wedding should be enough. I have to make sure I keep up appearances. I have a reputation to uphold. Don't forget to text me when your engagement falls apart. It's finally your wedding tomorrow. Isn't it exciting? You've been through so much to get here.
All thanks to your constant harassment. You've been nothing but a constant pest for months on end.
And thanks to me, you've also had so many fun things come up on a daily basis. You can thank me anytime.
There isn't anything fun about you trying to ruin my life. I have lost over 11 pounds because of all the stress you've put on me. I've had to deal with your torment while preparing for this wedding and working overtime.
All the more fun for me, don't you think? Collateral damage just makes me feel more accomplished.
As soon as this wedding is over, I don't ever want to see you again. I'll make sure to get as far away as possible.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure of that. We'll finally be family once you get married. And my parents and brother love me. No one will want to be so far away from me. They love me unconditionally.
So why are you bothering me today? The day before my wedding. What have you done this time? I finally finished work and making sure everything is ready for tomorrow. I know you aren't texting me just to chat. Just tell me what you've done already.
Like you said, it's the day before your wedding. So what better time than to put you through one more little ordeal?
Out with it already. What did you do?
You went out for a bit earlier today, didn't you?
I went with Thomas to run a few last errands to make sure everything went smoothly tomorrow. And what about it?
I wanted to see my lovely brother and sister-in-law before the wedding, so I went by your place. And I decided to borrow your wedding dress just for a moment.
You borrowed it? What did you do to my dress, Rosie?
It's such a lovely dress. I just had to bring it back with me. Just for a little bit, of course. I hope you don't mind too much. I wanted to do something really special for your big day tomorrow.
What are you doing to my dress? You need to bring it back now. And how did you get into my room? I don't want you anywhere near my things.
My brother lent me the spare key, you silly. He lent it to me when I had been helping him out the other day with preparations. A small price to pay for such a wonderful opportunity.
I can't believe you. What have you done? How could you just take my dress and leave?
It wasn't very difficult. It was as easy as opening the door and taking it home with me. It really is such a beautiful dress. It would be such a shame if something happened to it, wouldn't you say?
Bring it back, please. Whatever you're going to do, don't do it.
I can't do that. I told you already. You have one more tribulation to face before your big day. I also forgot to mention, I don't think I'll be able to make it to the wedding tomorrow morning. It seems I'll have my hands tied with other things. I hope your wedding will be everything you'd hoped it will be.
Don't do anything to my wedding dress. Please. Rosie, please don't ruin my wedding the day before. For once, will you just listen to me? I'm begging you to stop. Where are you, Rosie? Will you just answer me already? What did you do to my dress? I just went to your house and no one was home. Where did you take my dress?
I'm out for a stroll. Don't worry so much. I'm taking good care of your dress.
Where are you? Bring it back to me now.
I told you I was going to do something really special for your wedding, didn't I? I thought maybe I would do some small adjustments. Maybe a trim here and there. But then I remembered how much fun we had with your gym clothes back in school. I know how much you love a little extra color in your clothing. That's why I decided to go on a little walk.
Please tell me you're lying. Please, just tell me you haven't done anything yet. I'm begging you, Rosie. If you do that, no one is going to forgive you. How are you planning on getting away with destroying my dress?
I'm not worried about that. I have all my bases covered. I'll make sure the spare key gets back, and then there won't be any evidence. You know me. Come on. Cutting it up or muddying it would make it a little harder, though. I just decided to burn it instead.
What do you think you're doing? And after I trusted my own sister this entire time.
Tom? Are you with Emily?
I've been reading everything, Rosie. I've been reading everything the whole time with Emily. We went to your house together as soon as we found out it was missing, and saw that your car was gone. She's shown me everything you've said until now. I can't believe what you've done. My own sister trying to destroy my marriage and harassing my fiancé.
What do you mean you've read everything? You don't understand. It's not what you think, Thomas. We were just reliving our old memories from high school.
What does burning Emily's wedding dress have anything to do with your high school days? Do you even realize what you are doing?
Ask Emily about it. I didn't want to do it. She asked me to. She wanted this.
I don't remember saying anything like that at all. You know that's not true, Rosie. I was begging you to stop. You can't lie your way out of this anymore.
Emily, you really are a coward for tattling about everything.
Are you serious? How long are you going to keep acting like a child? You need to stop this. Now. All I did was show Thomas the truth. It's a relief that he's finally free of your lies.
You have some nerve, you know that? I'm your fiancé's sister, and you better not forget it.
We may be related by marriage from tomorrow, but I don't want anything to do with you after this. I'm done with you. Unless you do some begging, you're going to be feeling very lonely after today.
What are you talking about? I still have my husband and my family.
Before going to your house, I went to your parents. Thomas doesn't remember ever giving you a spare key, so we went to ask your parents about it. When I was getting him filled in on everything, I explained to your parents as well. About everything. Everything you've ever done, in our past and up till now. I tried to keep it from them. Not for your sake or mine even. But you went too far today.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, come on. Don't pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. Your parents have always been under the impression that they've raised this perfect child and wants everyone else to know it. They want to know they did a good job raising their children, and that they're happy. Do you think it's easy to break something like that to someone's parents? To utterly shatter their reality of what they know about their child to them? I could see how shocked and upset they were when I had to explain everything.
I'll always be their perfect honor student they know me as.
They know the truth, Rosie. Your mother, your father, and your brother. They know everything now.
You're unbelievable. You really think you can go and turn my family against me? I'm going to burn this dress and make sure you get to see its ashes. And your wedding can fall apart with it.
Actually, it turns out that wasn't my dress that you took. That is your sister-in-law's dress.
What do you mean it isn't your dress? I got it from your place.
I make wedding dresses for a living. That's my job. I do it from home sometimes, and also at the shop I own. I've been trying to take home more orders before my honeymoon, trying to work more to have money saved up. I was almost finished with it too. The deadline was next month. It's your sister-in-law's dress, Rosie. But you really finished it for me.
You're a designer? But how can you be sure it was her dress?
Because I make them myself, Rosie. Sam, who I'm sure you remember, has been running a small business as a wedding planner. I've been working independently as a designer. I've been getting a lot more business lately thanks to him, since he has sent over some of his clients. Your sister-in-law was sent over to me from him.
Wait a minute. You're joking. I don't believe this. You're telling me that I burned the wrong dress? This really wasn't yours. It was my husband's sister's dress?
When you first started harassing me about having taken my dress, I wasn't sure. I had to make sure for myself. It took me a while to find out what was missing, but it wasn't my dress.
Oh man, what am I going to do? She's going to be so mad at me.
The one I was making. The only silver lining to this is that it didn't need to be finished until next month. I was really trying to finish everything up before my honeymoon. I had done everything I needed to before leaving, except for finishing that dress. Now, from the day after the wedding, I only have 1 week until my trip. I'll have to figure out some way to get it done in a week to show her. Lucky for you, I still have all of the designs for the dress.
Oh, thank God. Don't scare me like that. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Just the thought of having to figure out how to explain this to her. Well, you better start making it now so you can finish it on time.
I'm going to need to apologize to your sister-in-law for all of the trouble you've caused. On top of that, with the material costs, labor cost, time constraints for getting a new order done, getting everything finished in under a week, that'll add express fees. It's not going to be cheap to get it done. A second time, I'll be making sure that no matter what, you'll be covering everything on her behalf.
Why should I have to pay for the dress?
You can't be seriously asking that. You broke into my house without my permission. You stole the dress. And then you took it upon yourself to go ahead and burn the dress. I think I have every right to demand that you pay for it.
How was I supposed to know that you made wedding dresses? I thought you were just a typical boring old office lady. I figured the first dress I saw in your place was the one that you'd be wearing for your wedding tomorrow.
From all the times you cut up and ruined my clothing in high school, I found that I was pretty good at what I did. I kept getting better at sewing and came to like mending and making clothing. I guess that's one thing I have you to thank for. I was able to start up my own company making wedding dresses thanks to you. And a thriving company at that. I have a special order to get done this week that I'm going to make a lot of money from.
I don't want to hear anything about your stupid dresses anymore.
I like to be open and honest about everything. It's kind of become a company policy for me. And I'll have to fill your sister-in-law in on every single detail of what's happened to make sure she understands the situation you put her in and I in.
Isn't it enough if you just get the thing done? Why do you need to say anything else?
Do you think a dress can be made overnight? I'm going to need her to come in again to try it on as I'm making it so that it fits properly and comfortably. I'm not going to make up some story to cover for you. You burned that dress without a second thought. A dress that takes hours of hard work, by hand, to make.
But if you tell her what happened, she's going to resent me. She'll never think of me the same way anymore.
It isn't just her that will think differently of you. Your own family isn't going to think of you the same way anymore. They all know the truth now. Your sister-in-law will figure it out soon enough.
Emily, hang on a second. We're friends, right? You can't do this. At least keep my in-laws out of this. You don't need to tell them. I'll figure out a way to get the money from my husband's savings if it's compensation that you want.
Up until now, other people have constantly been cleaning up after your messes. It's time for you to learn a little bit of responsibility and fix this yourself. I don't want to see you at my wedding tomorrow. You should spend a bit of time thinking up a really good apology to everyone. Not just me. Your family deserves an apology too. I doubt you are capable of an honest apology, though. I don't want to see you anymore anyway, so you can save it for your family.
Apologize to them for what? Don't do this to me, Emily!
You should be kissing their feet begging for forgiveness, for all the lying you've done and all the trouble you've caused. Anything else you need to say to me from here on out, you can tell my lawyer. I'll make sure he gets in touch with you about the costs of the wedding dress as soon as possible.
Don't go, Emily! Please! I'll apologize! I'll apologize, I promise! Please don't destroy my relationship with my family!
I told you, save the apology for your family. I don't want to hear from you anymore. You did this to yourself, Rosie. You could have stopped this a long time ago, but you chose not to. Now you need to live with the consequences. I'm not the same person you tormented when we were in high school. I asked you countless times to stop, and I told you that you would regret it.
Now I'm begging you, please!
I'm done with you! Good luck figuring out how you're going to apologize to everyone.
You don't have to do this, Emily! Please! We're friends, Emily! We're going to be in-laws! I promise I'll change! I promise I'll make everything better! Please, Emily! Don't ignore me! I'm begging you!
After learning the extent of the entire situation around Rosie, her in-laws and brother decided to take a step back from their relationship with Rosie. Rosie showed up to the wedding the following day and was quickly removed from the venue. Rosie's sister-in-law, having learned the fate of her first wedding dress, was furious with her. Rosie's relationship with her in-laws has only gotten worse since then. Her relationship with her husband wasn't doing any better, and it seems they're on track for a divorce. Naturally, no one was willing to cover the expenses for the new dress on Rosie's behalf. She had to stop her comfortable life as a housewife and used a loan to cover the dress. Apparently, she has been working a new job in order to pay back the loan.